Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Tuesday, 28th January 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Barbados is watching closely the developments with U.S. President Trump's massive deportation policy. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Barbados' mission in Washington has been closely monitoring developments as the U.S. President Donald Trump pursues his stated policy of mass deportation of undocumented migrants. Confirmation of this from His Excellency Ambassador to the United States and the Organization of American States, Victor Fernandez. Ambassador Fernandez adds that the mission continues to look after the general interests of Barbadians, not only as it relates to the deportation policy.
Because it may affect not just people from Barbados, but other Caribbean people too as well. And I would make one distinction, because the way I understood it is that we are speaking not of immigrants, but of illegal immigrants, people who may not have been properly documented or who may not have regularized their status or who may be here illegally. So I would expect that we, will do what we have to do. But thus far, it's early days yet. I mean, the president has only been in office a matter of days. There are lots of policies that are being enunciated almost on an hourly basis. So, we stand by, and we are a very small team here in Washington, an extremely small team, and we are not only looking after diaspora relations, but a whole heap of other areas, including, as you mentioned up front, the OAS, relationships, obviously, bilateral and multilateral relationships as well. So, but we are here. We are here, and we are monitoring, and we are very much top of mind in terms of watching the political temperature.
In other news, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, continues to defend the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, as Trinidad and Tobago's next Prime Minister. TTT's Sunil Lala has more.
Of the divisions that we have in this country and those who will divide us in the 69th year, the question is, a Chinese Prime Minister? Is that Chinese? From Lal Bihari Trace Pinal?
Speaking at the People's National Movement's 69th anniversary celebrations on Saturday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley came to the defense of this country's next Prime Minister, Stuart Young. He noted that there are those who may be trying to stir up confusion, but emphasized that the PNM has always been a party of interracial solidarity and cautioned the opposition.
I want to say to all those who want to dip their nose and whatever else in PNM business, when you see the PNM caucus vote Stuart Young to lead the PNM in the parliament as Prime Minister, get the hell out of our business. And don't you believe that you can incite PNM members about who is our leader and the shade of his skin, because it is the same PNM members who before that voted him as chairman of the People's National Movement. So party members, don't get tied up. Don't get tied up.
The Prime Minister admitted that the PNM has had some issues in the recent past, but he has a message for the opposition leader.
In recent times, we've had our challenges. And to my great surprise, Guess who is most concerned about the outcome of our challenges? The opposition leader. And all I will say to her, mind your own fallen feathers.
And Dr. Rowley said Minister Young's ethnicity should not be made an issue, noting the first Chinese national he knew was Sir Solomon Hochoy.
So when Hurricane Flora destroyed us in Tobago in 1963, I distinctly saw my grandfather writing a letter to Solomon Hochoy, and I saw the reply from the Governor General himself. So we are not unknown to, or Chinese are not unknown to us. So let's keep all the foolishness. We all belong.
The People's National Movement held their 69th anniversary at the National Academy for the Performing Arts in Port of Spain on Saturday. Sonolala, TTT News.
In the meantime, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister in waiting, Stuart Young, says 2025 is a critical year for his party and the nation as the PNM celebrated its 69th anniversary on Sunday. And he had a message for the members of the party, a message about unity. Joel Brown of TV6 News reports.
Before any awards were handed out during the PNM's 69th anniversary celebration at the Napa in Port of Spain on Saturday, Energy Minister Stuart Young gave special recognition to a former cabinet colleague whom he called a friend.
A comrade in the movement, someone who is very dear to many of us, if not all of us, but who tragically passed away 41 days ago with her, two of her children, our Honorable Lisa Morris Julian, Member of Parliament for Dabadi O'Meara and Minister in the Ministry of Education, and a dear sister to the PNM family. I pay tribute to her in her untimely passing.
The soon-to-be next Prime Minister Stuart Young later spoke about what he identified as the progress made during the present PNM administration, which was elected into office in the 2015 and 2020 general elections.
Our citizens this year will be called upon to choose once again to decide who is the best choice to take Trinidad and Tobago forward to 2030. And friends, family, citizens, it is obvious there is only one choice, and that is the movement, the People's National Movement.
Minister Young made no mention of energy-related matters, such as the deal for the supply of natural gas from Venezuela to Trinidad and Tobago, but did make reference to the pending general election as the PNM, the opposition UNC, and other political parties are screening nominees to be their candidates for the election.
We are in a critical year. It is an important year, not only for us as a party, but also for the future of our great Twin Islands state and country.
The chairman of the PNM appeared to dispel any concerns of instability in the party presently in government, following the caucus vote of elected PNM MPs, which confirmed he would be appointed the next Prime Minister after the PNM's political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, resigns as the head of the government before the end of his term in office.
So ready yourselves for the potential battle that is ahead of us. We have shown time and time again that we, as a unified and fortified People's National Movement, marching together as one, are unbeatable.
Prime Minister Rowley recently indicated that Minister Young may be the one to call the date for the 2025 general election after he is appointed as the next Prime Minister. Joel Brown, TV6 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The People's Action Movement in St. Kitts and Nevis celebrated its 60th anniversary as a major political party in the Federation, hosting a gala event at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline filed this report.
Commenting about the event, PAM's political leader, Natasha Gray Brooks, said, quote, 60 years strong, I am happy to celebrate 6 decades of the People's Action Movement, shaping our community, fighting for justice and delivering results. Thank you to our dedicated members, loyal supporters, and everyone who has joined us on this journey. Together we make a difference. My vision is to build a St. Kitts and Nevis that stands as a shining example of opportunity, equity, and prosperity for all. A nation where every citizen, regardless of background or circumstance, has equal access to education, healthcare, employment, and resources to reach their full potential. I envision communities that are empowered, vibrant, and resilient, where people feel safe, supported, and confident in the future, end quote. The PAM leader said she is committed to restoring trust and integrity in governance and in fostering a culture of accountability. The key priority is the welfare of the people based on sustainable and a thriving economy. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
CVM's Ramon Gordon tells us the main opposition in Jamaica, PNP, made good on their threat to boycott Republic talks over final Court of Appeal row.
The move follows an ultimatum last week at the first meeting of the Joint Select Committee discussing Jamaica's transition to a republic. Opposition leader Mark Gordon had warned that the PNP would withdraw from the process if the government failed to state its position on the Privy Council.
How can the vast majority of the Jamaican people be left behind, particularly in a process of decolonization? Why should they continue to remain deprived of the fundamental right of access to justice at the highest level?
Gordon wants to make the Caribbean Court of Justice Jamaica's final appeals court. The boycott Wednesday left one of Jamaica's most important sit-downs without opposition input, raising questions about the unity of the process.
I was just seeking clarification on when you extended apologies on behalf of the leader of the opposition.
No, I did not extend the apology. I simply noted for the record what was communicated to me by the committee clerk, that the members indicated that they would not attend.
The absence of opposition members was impossible to ignore, with Minister Marlene Malahoo Fort expressing unease at what she called a dangerous politicization of a process critical to Jamaica's future.
Prime Minister Holness has been very deliberate in not politicizing this process. We can't set national goals about which there is no dispute, and then we start playing politics.
Golding's demands for clarity on whether Jamaica will adopt the CCJ remain at the heart of the conflict. Some critics are arguing it's time to close the door on the UK-based appeals court.
It is prohibitive because we have a weak currency, we have to pay in pounds, and many persons who would have been able to go to that court and possibly win their cases because of the cost of going there, justice has not been realized.
Is the PNP's stand a principled fight or a political gamble with potentially greater implications?
There is some principles behind why they're staying away from the entire process at this point, because they haven't had, I would say, assurances as it relates to what the next move would be. We do contribute to the Caribbean Court of Justice. As a matter of fact, one of the justices, he is indeed Jamaican. I was saying that Jamaica needs to come to the Caribbean Court of Justice. They have their points to score, and if their supporters are of the view that we need to look at this court issue immediately as an immediate part of the process, then, they're appealing to their supporters, and that's what political parties do.
The committee is set to address opposition inquiries at its next sitting. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family, yes we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.